Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Don't Believe the Hype show. I'm Valerie Kelso, and tonight we have got another special guest. Her name is Pat Jones. Pat Jones is going to share a little bit about her story, but before we get into the show, there's a few introductions that I would like for you to know about. The show is part of the PLT Purple Light Touch Foundation. And what we do at the foundation, we take care of women and young girls who have gone through domestic violence, abuse, sex trafficking, any life-altering situation. We offer empowerment, prayer, mentoring, computer classes, life skills. We teach them how they can get back onto the road of recovery. That is what we do at the foundation. Everything that we do, we work off donations and we work off sponsors. So if anybody would like to come in, donate something to our show, everything is all, we are happy to take any donations. We also go out and feed the homeless. So Purple Light Touch Foundation, we do a platoon of things that people in the community don't know that we do here. If you just want to come in and sit down and just have a quiet time by yourself, we've also got a prayer room, stroke meditation room, whatever you want to call it, and you can go in there and you can have your own little quality time. A few weeks ago, I met Miss Pat, and it was by coincidence. I met her in 2021 on Shondell show that we was both part of. I never spoke to Pat again, but a few months ago, just after Christmas, a lady reached out to both of us. Well, she reached out to all of us in the group, and a few of us felt sorry for the lady, and we sent her some money. But what we didn't realize was that this lady was playing all of us. And so I sent a message to the lady in the group, the owner of the group, and I told her exactly what had taken place. And she turned around and told me she put what I wrote out for other people to see. This time when she put that out, we found out that this lady has scammed quite a few of us in the group. And yes, I'm one of them. I'm not ashamed to tell you. Miss Pat reached out and two other ladies, and worst thing about it, people were going to donate money from like Australia and other places. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I didn't realize Miss Pat was the same lady I'd been on the show with some time ago. And so Miss Pat's gonna tell you a little bit about herself, but before I get into there, I just want to say one important thing. February the 4th, we have got a Dime by Design. And what that Dime by Design is that you can come out, you and 7 of your friends, you can make it a girl night out, you can have a couple's date or whatever, and you can come, decorate your table with your own fancy cutlery, plates, whatever you want, if that's what you want to do. We will provide plates and tablecloth, but the centerpiece and any decorations that you want to do, that's your responsibility. And we're going to judge at the end of the night who had the best table. I've already got 2 tables, and some of the ladies are going to be going way out. People have asked me for electric. It's a fun night. It's for you to come out, have some fun. COVID is still here, but that doesn't mean you can't come out and enjoy yourself and socialize, because it's never going to go away. And that will also help take us out of some of the depressive state that many of us are in right now. And it's good for your mental clarity, just to be around people that you can come out and laugh and joke with. So that is what the Dime by Design is about. And I've had so many people, I'm getting people constantly but wanting to buy tickets. We've only probably got about 20 tickets left to sell, if that. So come out with your friends, come out with 4, 8, it doesn't matter. If only you want to decorate a table with 4 of your friends, that's fine. We will fill the other seats for you. And if you just want to show your decorating skill, I will find a table that you can decorate. I've got no problems in finding the table for you to decorate. Just come out and have some fun. We've got a comedian, Miss Vicky. We've got Michael, who's going to be our MC. And it's going to be full of laughs and enjoyment. So let's get back into the show. as I said, I met Miss Pat. Patty's not here in the studio. Patty's on Zoom, and Patty's going to tell you a little bit about herself before we get into the show.
Hi, I am Pat Jones. I am a warrior. I am a survivor of domestic abuse. I met my husband at age 16. I was a virgin when I met him, and I'm still a virgin today because I've never had any other man in my life. My husband turned out to be a serial cheater, and I, at age 67 in 2020, had more than enough because I realized that he was trying to get rid of me, meaning get rid of me. And so he was trying to force me to take some medicine he said was my medicine. Well, I have high blood pressure, so I keep my medicine in a container to remind me to take it daily. So I showed him that I had taken my medicine. He chased me throughout the house. I became fearful for my life. And I said, you better get out of here. You better not stay tonight because he's going to get you. Previously, before that, I was sick in December. My shoulder was hurting me. And so I went to all kind of doctors and they never gave me anything. So apparently what was going on, unbeknown to me, was he was in giving me something, and I don't know what it was, but he tried to force me to take these too long like pills. And he kept saying it was my medicine. He acted like a zombie. So that caused me to leave. At 67, in California, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. I have closets full of clothes, but I got the biggest suitcase I could find. And when my daughter came, because he had texted her, I emptied my lingerie drawer. I had more panties and bras than I did clothes. So I had to give her a card to go buy me some clothes. She said, Mom, you don't have any clothes. So my son came from Texas and brought me here. And I decided after I started healing that I was not the only senior citizen. It was no more being ashamed of being in a situation, because the first thing out of one's mouth is, well, why did you stay so long? You must have liked it. So toward the end, when I was getting ready to get out, that's what was playing in my mind. I had listened to Shondell in 2019 and I thought, oh my God, what she's saying abuse is not just physically or sexually. Abuse is intimidation, manipulation, controlling, financial, spiritual, emotional, mentally. I mean, and the list just goes on and on.
So which one did you have when you was going through your abuse? Did you go through all of them, or was it just some of them that you actually went through?
I actually did not experience sexual or physical, but I experienced all the things I named it before.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought abuse was sexual and physical. Now that I'm out of the situation, my body is reacting to physical abuse that I allowed to take on for over 51 years.
So when did you go through your first incidents of abuse that ended your marriage?
In my marriage, I would say the abuse started 4 years after we got married. He was very, he was in college and I was putting him through school. So he was taking night classes and he met a 19-year-old that he was fooling around with. But prior to her, he had met, and I would say in 1977, he met an older woman and he was dealing with her. So at any given time, he was with more than one woman. And thought by staying because I'm a Christian, they say stay and pray. That's not the answer. And that's why I'm here to share my story.
So when did you recognize that you was in an abusive relationship?
I
Although
really
you're saying
didn't.
it wasn't physical, but I mean, when do you recognize that he was a narcissist and he was like probably gaslighting you at the same time?
2019. 2019. And that was 46 years of being married to him. It wasn't until 2019 that Shondell had her show. She was on Intentional Talk Radio as a guest. And she was so interesting on Sunday evenings. I stopped going to church with him because I'm like, she's talking about this stuff, narcissist. And this, I thought it was selfishness. I had heard the word narcissist, but I'm thinking, this man is selfish. No, they said we cannot diagnose, but he has all the traits in the SM book of being a narcissist.
It's funny how
Plus,
you
he
put the
comes from a
word,
family of narcissists.
but it's funny how you put the word selfish and narcissist together, because technically they are more or less like somebody caring more about themselves, that they don't feel that they're doing anything wrong by you because it's all about them. And that's one of the traits of somebody who's got that tendency. It's never about them.
Exactly.
It's always, you're the one at fault. You pushed me to do this. If it wasn't for you, if you'd have made up the bed properly, you wouldn't have had to turn around and say something to you. You will never please somebody like them, because you'll never ever be able to do anything right, even though you know you've done something right. But that's to cover up what they are doing to you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
It's more and more coming alive, because actually 2020, after I got here in Texas, I kept hearing that word narcissist. So I looked it up and I'm like, oh my God, any other time you would have been looked this up by now. That would have got me out, I believe, a little sooner had I realized what those narcissistic traits are. But when I look back on it, I was being blackmailed, or not blackmailed, but yeah, kind of blackmailed by his
gaslighting.
family. They're telling me, oh, just stay, just pray. He's going to get better. He's going to get better. And I'm thinking, okay, in 1998, we were married 25 years. But the lady that he had been seeing earlier in 1977, she died that same year. They were together 21 years when I added it up.
Wow.
Now I might be off. That's why I'm here to tell the story, because you don't have to stay. God does not want anyone staying. God is love. He is not anything abusive, and he doesn't want you to be in an abuse.
You know, funny enough, because many people believe that if you're married to somebody, and you decide you want a divorce, God doesn't don't want you to get a divorce. But you stop and think about it. Does God want you to go to hell because you're not happy being in a relationship? No, God doesn't want you to do that. But he says it's better to be on your own than to be in a bad relationship, no matter what kind of a relationship. So I know,
Exactly.
when I decided it was time for me to get out, I know if I had not got out then, I wouldn't be where I am today. And there's so many women don't understand. They want to stay in it. You were 67 when you decide to leave out. Most women at 67 would not even contemplate leaving out of a relationship, because you're talking about years of investments. You've got your 50, what is it? The 401k, you've got your pension, you've got everything. You was pension age. You're supposed to be sitting down, comfortable, relaxing.
Absolutely.
And you're talking about walking out of a relationship to start all over. I know you've got children, How many
Yes.
children do you have?
I have two. I have a son who's 41, and I have a daughter that's 37, and both of them are very supportive of my decision. All they want me to be is happy, and get what I am due, what's due me. I put a lot into the marriage. I put a lot into the home, building it, trying to make it a home, even though in the back of my mind, I knew he was cheating, but I didn't want my children to know that. So I put on this facade that everything was fine. Eventually, as they got older, they found out. They saw him numerous times. They even in 2012 confronted him. He continued. He retired in 2015. And I'm still hearing stories because you never know who knows somebody that knows somebody.
That's
And
right.
I'm sure this will get out, and I don't care. I want the world. I told him I was going to let the world know about him.
So do you have a good support system now, or
I
how are
do.
you getting by? Because I know that your son came and got you. How are you supporting? How is things now?
Things are very good. Actually, I had worked for the LA Times for over 17 years. The LA Times swindled a lot of the employees because they were selling, merging, and doing stuff. So they took a lot of the employees' retirement, and I happened to be one of them because I left the Los Angeles Times when I was 38 years old. And I thought I had a pension, but what they were doing was they were sending me dividends. And unknown to me, that was part of my retirement. So I knew that I couldn't stay in California because I was only getting Social Security.
Okay.
And my son was here in Texas, and he had transferred his job, and then he became sick. So I was back and forth coming to take care of him. But 2019 was really the year that opened my eyes because I replayed back what I saw, what he did to me in 2012. He had a lady at his brother's house, a coworker, and I happened to go by there because I was on my way to my second job, and I had to, use the bathroom. And he immediately came out. He must have just got in there, and he come out. I got company. I said, "How do you have company? One, you're married, and two, this is not your house." Well, but one of my coworkers. So I went in and saw this lady, and I was like, "Wow." So I've come a long way because I believe in God. And when I was with him, I could not worship God the way I wanted to. And I would say God is the only one that's got me through this.
So did you have any of the church people, any of the church leaders reach out to you with everything that they knew was going on in your marriage?
I had reached out to a minister, I would say in the early 2000s. We both did couple counseling, but the minister ended up leaving California, going out of state. So that ended. And I then continued going to therapy with, therapists. However, it just dawned on me one day, you're not the problem. He's the problem. It's like me going to emergency rooms saying, I have a headache and it won't stop. Can you give me some medicine? Only to take it back to him. It wasn't going to work that way.
That's right.
He needed the medicine, not me, because I wasn't the one sick. And so in 2019, I told him, I said, I'm not happy. I'm not going to any more therapy. If you want this marriage to work, you'll go to therapy yourself. So he didn't, nothing's wrong. Narcissist, nothing's wrong. And, you're crazy. So I showed him how crazy I am.
So let me ask you a question. So now you're in Texas, you staying with your son, and he was the one that took you out of the relationship that you was in. And
Yes,
you said earlier on that you found that your body was broken down, and we reconnected with you coming in here to get some massages from me.
right.
Um, how have you felt since you've been coming in? Because what I'm trying to do, I need other women to understand that abuse to the body is not just physical, it's
Yes.
also mental, it's also spiritual. You know, I mean, you'd be surprised to know how much knock we do on our bodies. And that's why Purple Light Touch offer massages, we offer it all the components of healing.
Yes. Well, I saw you, I think it was at the Christmas party with survivors after domestic violence
Yes.
with our group. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I need to go to her. And I kept saying, I need to go to her. And my body started slowing down. And I could feel myself getting slower and slower because I walk with a cane. And so then I told my son, I said, I've got to go to her. When I went to you last week and your reaction to what you felt on my body, I knew that I was right. You didn't say this, but in my mind, you saved my life because of all the tension and my body I felt my body shutting down.
Wow.
So the session you did last week and the one you did today, I know it's going to take a while because it's 51 years of being in abuse. And the worst thing about it was being in abuse and not knowing that's what it was called.
Mhm.
Because I believe that I took the vow to be deaf until death do us part. And I was wondering when he was going to die so I could get some peace. And that's a bad thing to think of. And I pray to God, please get me out of here. And that's when I left. And there's no money, printed or unprinted, in the world that would ever make me go back to that situation.
I feel you
Because
on that
God,
one.
I want to work and help you with other people to get free. Because God
Thank
wants
you.
us free and healed.
So let me ask you, this is my last question I'm going to ask you. What does don't believe the hype mean to you as a
Don't
survivor
believe
of
the
an
hype
abuse?
is a great word. Don't believe the hype that being married makes you the best person in the world. Don't believe the hype that you need a man or a woman in whoever's situation it is, or a woman to make your life happy and complete. It's all hype. And don't believe that you have to have sex. You know, it's don't believe it. It's if you have multiple, what has happened to him was he went through all these different women. And when you go through having sex, each person you're depositing something and you're receiving something. And that something is detrimental to your life. So sex is is a hype. Being marriage is a hype. Saying that you got to have a mate is a hype. You know, it's overrated, as I call it, because it's not all of that. Being yourself, loving yourself. I take myself on dates. I get dressed up and I'll go to dinner, or just something. I love on myself every night. I'll hug myself and hold myself tight. I
Awesome.
know it's all a hype and don't believe the hype. I hope that
Thank you.
answers it.
Yes, that, I love everything that you just said, because people don't look at the sex side of things and the being single. You don't have to be in a relationship. You can be single but not be alone, because as far as I'm concerned, you've always got God.
Yes.
And he's going to be the best person that you can have around you at any given time. People think, well, he doesn't answer me back. Yes, he does. If you
Yes.
are really and truly connected, he will answer you back. So I would
Yes.
like to thank Miss Pat for coming on to our show, because she's an older lady. Not saying you're old, don't get me wrong.
No,
But
but it is. The older women are supposed to teach the younger women, and that's what I'm all about.
And as Ms. Pat just said, and just because you're 65, 70, that don't mean you have to stay in a domestic violence relationship or any form of abuse. There's ways that you can get around it. You know what I mean? If you have to leave, leave. A live body is better than a dead body.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I would like to thank you all for tuning in once again to the Don't Believe the Hype show. I'm Valerie Kelso, and I would like to thank Miss Pat and Jamise, who's behind the camera. Every 2 weeks, Jamise comes in and she makes sure that our show is running the best she can make it run. So I have to give Jamise a shout out. Thank you, Miss Pat, for joining our show tonight.
And Tiara Jackson wanted to shout out. She said she's here supporting you, Miss Pat.
Thank you. That's one of our sisters in our Healing After Domestic Violence.
Okay.
I posted it late. Thank you,
Okay.
Tiara. Yeah, I'm here anytime you want me. I'm just a Zoom call away.
Thank you very much. You see, people are coming onto the show, and I know some of you have reached out to me, and I will get back to you. It's just that we have been absolutely busy here at Purple Light Touch, and by the time I finish work, it has been late. But I will definitely be calling all the people who have been calling me who would like to come onto our show. So thank you for tuning into the Don't Believe the Hype show. You all have a wonderful and blessed week. And don't forget, we have got 20 tickets left to come to the Dine by Design. Only 20 tickets. So it's only $50 and it's going to be an amazing event. So just call Vinmo Purple Light 2015. You can go to our Cash App. You can go to our website. We've only got 20 tickets left. So please come out and support please come out and support the Purple Light Touch Foundation. Thank you, and I'll see you all again in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.